If you think about it, on the NEBOSH NG1 or IG1 exam, there are 3 types of questions. These 3 types of questions, what are they? Well, the first type of question is a question which can easily be answered from your course materials, and there is no link required to the scenario. The second type of question is where, yes, you can still find the answers, kind of, in the course materials, and you have to link those answers to what is happening in the scenario. The third type of question, probably the hardest type of question, is where you won't find the answers in all course materials. The answers are only found in the scenario. Let me give you some examples of these types of questions. What are the benefits of using a checklist for the workplace inspections? Well, when it says the workplace inspections, the assumption there is that they're in the scenario, there are some workplace inspections going on. But notice this question doesn't have any kind of stem underneath it. It doesn't say, note, you should support your answer where applicable using relevant information from a scenario. It doesn't say that. It's simply asking, what are the benefits of using a checklist for the workplace inspections? Nothing more. That type of question you can, to a very large extent, answer using generic information, perhaps inspired from, not taken, not copied, no cheating, but you could use information that you will find on the internet, your course materials, to help you answer that question. So let's take a look at an example of that. Here we've got our Compassa NG1 study book. If you don't have this, you can purchase this from our website, get a PDF document. This is how it would work. You might decide to do a search, and you'd search for benefits of using. Benefits of using, I've already found a hit. Let's go there. There are benefits of using the checklist. Oh, during these behavioral safety audits, fantastic. So here, this whole section, use of checklists, arguments in favor of checklists include, and so we've got a load of reasons why, like good reasons why, the arguments against checklists as well. All right, so that information will help you answer that question. What are the benefits? Obviously, only use the good, the arguments in favor of. Do not copy and paste your course materials and dump it in the answer. You will get caught for cheating. NEBOSH scan everything through the Turnitin system. If we get 2 people who have copied and pasted something they found on the internet or a study book, it's going to get flagged up as potential malpractice, and you could end up having your result voided or even you being banned from sitting further assessments. So, big fat malpractice warning right there. Now, the second type of question is where you can also still find information in your course materials, but you will have to link that to the scenario. You'll have to kind of connect it. You have to show understanding of what's going on in the scenario. One example might be, why might the health and safety policy require a review for 10 marks? Now we have a STEM. Note, you should support your answer where applicable using relevant information from the scenario. So it's telling you, you're going to have to use some evidence here from the scenario. You can't just take generic information from your course materials and dump it into your answer. That's not enough. Even though what you're saying is correct, those things are on the marking scheme. The examiner needs you to connect those generic points to what's happening in the scenario. Now, once again, we can go to the course materials. We've got a whole section there on circumstances when we would review the health and safety policy. It's all really generic, and perhaps not all of those answers are going to be relevant, not all of them will be mark-worthy, but some of them will be, and you can pick some and use that to formulate an answer. Perhaps in the scenario there's been some kind of accident, or there's been an audit, and an audit has raised issues and made recommendations. You could say, well, one of the reasons we review a policy is because an audit has recommended some changes to the policy. Here in the scenario, there's been an audit that recommended these changes. Once we've done that, we should review the policy so that it includes those changes. Something like that, connect it to the scenario. There might also be other answers which are not in the course materials, but which you can infer from the scenario itself. And that brings me to the third type of question. Questions where the answer is not in the course materials, but must be inferred from or found inside the scenario itself. And here's an example of such a question. The UK Space Agency, not a real exam question, this. The UK Space Agency has general duties as the employer to their employees under Section 2 of the Health and Safety at Work, etc. Act 1974. Now, if you're an international student studying IG1, you're not going to get a Health and Safety at Work Act question. You could get something along the ILO Convention C155 or the ILO Recommendation R164. Similar type of question, just a different piece of legislation. It then says comment on how these duties may have been breached, 10 marks. Note, you should support your answer where applicable using relevant information from the scenario. In your course materials, you will have a whole section on the Health and Safety at Work Act or the ILO conventions or whatever law it is. We can find it in our course materials here. Here, Health and Safety at Work Act, there it is. We've got loads of course materials talking about the different sections of HASWA and giving examples as to what those mean and how they're breached and so on, but they're not. The course materials are not going to give you the breaches that happened in this particular scenario. You're going to have to use your understanding of what compliance or non-compliance with the law looks like, and you're going to have to spot those in the scenario. So, oh look, they failed to provide a safe place of work there because there are a lot of trip hazards on the floor. Oh look, they failed to provide welfare facilities, or at least adequate welfare facilities, because the toilets are really dirty. They've injured a contractor, so that would be a breach of Section 3. They've exposed a contractor to risk. You have to infer things from the scenario, and you won't find the answers in your course materials. So there we are. Those are the 3 types of questions. First type is questions which can be fairly easily answered directly from the course materials, and you probably don't even need to link it to the scenario. Second type, questions where you can still answer quite easily from the course materials, but you do have to link it to the scenario. And finally, the hardest type of question, questions where the answer is not in the course materials. You can use the course materials to help you understand the topic, but you will find the answers only in the scenario. And maybe you won't even find them in the scenario. Maybe you have to infer them from the scenario. You have to infer what is not said directly. There we are. Hope you find that useful. Please let me know if you've got any questions in the comments, and if you need any more help or exam resources, please go to our website. You'll find a ton of cool stuff on there to help you pass both your NEBOSH exam and also your NEBOSH practical project. Catch you later.